Unlock the door, bitch. I'm on my way, and I got chicken strips.
I don't know why they call them chasers. It's not like Chubs can run real fast.
Double vodka with hot brownie chasers.
She just wanted to watch me eat it. Naked.
I can't say that. That's dirty.
Chasers will do anything to get into your pants. I love them.
Stop it! Stop!
Oh,
God. Chubs gone wild.
Well, hey there, hi there, ho there. It's another December. It's another December. It's cold out. Actually, it is kind of cold out, but we're here to warm you up on Chubs Gone Wild, episode 569. 69. Wink, wink. Anyway, it is Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. It is 61 degrees and partly cloudy outside the Chubs Gone Wild remote studios. So, well, I guess you can call that partly cloudy, but it's pretty bright. It is 359 days until Thanksgiving. Oh my God, it's just creeping right up. We're going to have to do it again. Anyway, it's also 18 days until winter solstice / Yule, 22 days until Christmas, and I have barely a shop for a thing. It's also 22 days until Hanukkah, 23 days until Kwanzaa, 29 days until New Year's Day, and 331 days until Halloween. Oh my God, the holidays just keep coming and coming and coming. Like one of those movies that I saw on X once. So anyway, let's take a moment of take a deep breath and center ourselves for a moment. I am learning to be more creative every day. True?
That's it.
Well, no, because right now I was just making sure you're still there. So, yeah. But yeah, that's it. We're just learning to be more creative every day.
Oh, okay.
All right, Patreon offers folks a way to support creators that receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons: Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Starsage from the Univaz, Eric, Sean, Charles, Phoenix Dave, Brothers Natus, Kingsley, Kathy Bacon, and Moose P. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame and find out how you can support our projects for as little as $1 a month. And we thank you all and welcome to the holiday season. Well, guess what happened today in 1992?
Something horrible?
Well, thankfully not.
Oh, thank goodness.
Not as horrible as what happened when we were originally going to record. But anyway, on December 3rd, 1992, the first SMS text message in history was sent. Neil Papworth, a 22-year-old engineer, used a personal computer to send the text message, "Merry Christmas," via a Vodafone network to a phone of a colleague. That's just wonderful, and what a great message. It's like when Frosty came alive with the hat and said, "Happy birthday." It made me cry. Anyway, moving on. For those of you watching the video, Tom is giving a death stare right now because he fucking hates Frosty the Snowman. And
No,
frankly,
it's
I do too.
it's your performance that I'm hating
Oh,
right now.
well, you know what? I'm sorry, but I won Oscars for my performance. Several of them.
Yeah, but they were
At the
Oscar
same
Mayer.
time. Whatever. Hey, it's Giving Tuesday. Have you given today?
Yeah,
Two.
none of your business.
Okay. Well, I gave,
Don't care.
obviously, yeah, I know you don't care. You're just You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. I gave to, of course, Golden Rule Services, who are our sponsor and a wonderful organization that I am proud to be involved with, and also to an organization called NorCal Resist, which helps um, immigrants and people who are going to be basically persecuted in the upcoming, presidency, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm glad they're there. All right. International Day of Persons with Disabilities. I do celebrate you. Let's Hug Day. Did you give anyone a hug today?
Not yet.
Oh, well, hopefully later. It'll be a special kind of hug. Also, Make a Gift
Oh,
Day.
by the way, this is not that podcast, but
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
oh, I could tell you things on the other podcast, but you'll have to tune in.
Mm.
It's Make a Gift Day. Are you going to make a gift day?
I made a gift earlier.
Oh, I knew you were going to go there. Hey, it's also National Apple Pie Day.
No, thanks.
No. National, oh, why? National Green Bean Casserole Day. Wouldn't that be like last week?
Well, no, this is where the day you throw the remainder out that no one
Oh,
ate.
well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's also National Peppermint Latte Day. I loved her. She was my favorite character in the Peanuts. Alrighty then. National
leave the comedy for the bear.
ah oh National Roof Over Your Head Day. Yes, thank you very much for that one. And also World Trick Shot Day. Have you shot your trick today?
I don't have a trick.
Hmm. Well, y'all can pretend. All right. Well, those were lovely holidays, many of which will be uncelebrated by us. Hmm. All right. Well, let's get on to the birthdays, if this will cooperate. Hello, birthdays. Hello, birthdays. Happy birthday to Jed Miller. And also to Moses, Kieran, Jeffrey, and Noel. Also, recently, that Jackie Schultz of the theater fame. Upcoming birthdays, happy birthday to Mark Daniel Deschamps. We have Dre, Matt, Taylor, co-pilot from Pod is my co-pilot. Happy birthday, Taylor. We also have happy birthday to Polypeptide Chain. Don't. Okay. Moving on to Leonard, Bailey, author Ron Williams, and we have Jonathan, and posthumously in fond memory, our sweet Kim McCann, who passed a year ago. We miss her, miss her, miss her, and her bubbly, happy personality. All right, it's time to get into nothing in our feed bag, so it's time for Chub Hugs, and Tom wants to lead out this time.
A chub hug to anybody that's had to go to the dentist this week.
Ugh. Ugh.
I spent 2.5 hours in the chair. I'm not happy. I need a hug,
Oh,
and not from you.
special hug. Well,
Another special hug. The joke didn't work the first time.
well, yeah, for you. Anyway, I
Yeah.
know, but yeah, what can we expect? Anyway, I will second that chub hug. And also, anyone who is dealing with just being overwhelmed in everything that is going on. We have vet appointments, we have health appointments, we have car repair appointments. We just got so much shit's going on, and it just feels so overwhelming lately. Anyway, on top of the holidays and starting our new regime. All right. Well, let's get into some news. Well, for the first time in history, the White House displayed the AIDS memorial quilt on the South Lawn on Sunday, marking an extraordinary and emotional World AIDS Day ceremony. The event, led by President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden was both a celebration of the progress in the fight against HIV and AIDS and a sobering reminder of the epidemic's human toll. For some in attendance, it was also a moment of grief as the specter of President-elect impending administration loomed large, threatening to undo years of progress in the LGBTQ plus community and public health policy. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has eased the regulations on kidney and liver donations between HIV positive donors and HIV positive recipients, something that HHS says will increase access to these organs. A rule of interpretation of the HIV Organ Policy Equity Act removes requirements for clinical research and institutional review board approved for such donations. Based on research demonstrating the safety and effectiveness of kidney and liver transplants between donors and recipients with HIV. Says an HHS press release, the rule became final on last Wednesday. So that is wonderful. All right, now Tom wants to tell you about
Death.
celebrity deaths.
So starting off,
He's
we
a
got
Death Eater.
Jim Abraham. He was the writer and director of Airplane, and Hot Shots, Naked Gun. He passed away at 80. Earl Holliman, who died he just recently, well, he died this week, 96 years old, in Twilight Zones, Policewoman. He did just a ton of, I believe he's in everything, especially during the 70s and 80s. He was in everything. But I remember him best from Policewoman.
Well, he played a gay guy, which was hard in those days. And of course, he was in real life too.
Okay, let's see. Oh God, I hate when you don't clean these things up. Tony and Emmy Award winner actor Helen Gallagher.
Yeah.
She acclaimed actor and educator. She died at 98. 98. That's a good number.
Yeah.
As long as you're healthy,
Right. And you can get around. And
by the way, I just want to say that I think the rudest thing in the whole world is where these people, the paparazzi, are snapping pictures of people who are in their 90s, looking like shit because they're coming out to get the mail out of the mailbox. And oh, look, here's Angie Dickinson. Doesn't she look like shit?
I know.
Just terrible, terrible things.
Awful.
Yeah. Morgan Lofting, a veteran voice actress, best known for the Baroness in the my eyes are not good today. G.I. Joe animated series. She died at 84. Deidre Hall has killed off another husband. Wayne Northrup, from Days of Our Lives and Dynasty, he just died at 77. I mean, seriously, Drake Hogestyn, and you also had Doug. Oh God, now I'm blank on his name, but the guy who played Susan C. Force Hayes. Oh, Doug Hayes, right? Doug Hayes, yeah. He just died. So they've had three major actors of characters on Days of Our Lives died in the last maybe 3 months.
Wow.
Because they just had Doug's funeral on Days of Our Lives. Because they do it so far from when they film,
right,
and when they show. So we'll be seeing Drake Hogestyn's funeral soon, and then Wayne Northrup's. It's just crazy. Let's see, Marshall Brickman. He's the Oscar-winning screenwriter for Annie Hall. He was working with Woody Allen through most of Woody Allen's career. So just saying Annie Hall, was the one thing. He did Sleeper and he did Manhattan and, lots. He died at 85 years old. And then, this is a new one.
Yeah.
Apollo Moon. Transmass adult. Is that how it's pronounced now?
Yeah.
I didn't know
that. Yeah.
Content creator died on Monday, December 2nd. He was 26.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, loved ones confirmed the news that Moon passed. Was passing to. Okay, he passed. The cause of death is not revealed at this time. Yeah,
Yeah, they just
that's
found out he was in the hospital like the day before Thanksgiving.
wow.
Yeah. All
Well,
right.
well, let me talk about my week.
Okay. One quick thing I was
Oh,
going to say about about Wayne Northrop. I do remember, like, I was a little kid, but I remember the first time that he came on as gonna protect Merlina from the Boston Strangler, and it was Boston Strangler, Salem Strangler.
Salem.
And just thinking when he came on all shirtless in a towel and drying his hair, it was just like, wow, he was something.
Well, I remember, he was the chauffeur on Dynasty.
Oh, that's right. Yep. And
Yeah.
he was
So,
in love with what's her name. Yeah. Okay.
okay. Anyway, my week. Let's see. By the way, there's a new tracker this week.
Ooh.
I know it was like a gift from Santa. Um, and it was funny because I actually looked to see what other show. I knew he had done the This Is Us, but I went back. He's done a lot of series.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
Constantly
couple,
working.
yeah, and it's funny because it's just, and nowadays there's so much content out there
Mm.
that if you don't watch it, you don't see it. Like we're watching Lost right now, and I'd never watched Party of Five, so
Oh,
and Matthew Fox was that.
yeah.
And he had done other things that I didn't know, and until he came on the air with Lost, I really had no idea who he was. So same thing with Tracker. So that was really fun looking back at his filmology and going, oh, okay. It's funny because he was in Mistresses, that was
Oh,
out, and it's funny because I looking up the people from Lost, and the Asian lady from Lost, her and her husband. Okay,
yes.
well, she was in Mistresses as well. So it's you start seeing the weaving through all this. Oh, I didn't mean to say
Hmm.
weaving.
What? Well,
Uh,
and the Asian actor that you
yeah,
were talking about from he's been in so much
like
stuff. I see him everywhere.
he's on Broadway right now.
Wow.
Yeah, but he spent years on Hawaii Five O, so which
Well,
meant
and
that he got to spend a lot of time in the Hawaiian
oh
Islands.
yeah. Also, your tracker, he was in Bad Moms Christmas.
Christmas, yeah, he was
Yeah.
the stripper.
And he does a great job too. Because
Mm.
he's funny. He can do comedy. He's
No,
really
no,
funny.
he's actually really well rounded.
Yeah.
It's just he had more chest hair. That's all. Um, of course, he may, and it just could be,
Uh-huh.
buzzed down. I'm still shocked at how all of a sudden you'll see, like somebody, and you'll go, "Oh, I didn't know they had chest hair," and
Right.
it's like um, True Blood, the werewolf, and
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
married to Sofia Vergara. He's actually got chest hair. Now, why would they shave him down when he's playing a fucking
Oh,
werewolf?
right. Exactly.
Okay, I still
Uh,
anyway. Okay, let's see. This week on Survivor, they finally got Kyle out of there. Um, Kyle has won out of like the individual immunities. I think he lost two of them, and the first time they didn't get rid of him, but this time they did. It's just he's going to go into the top three otherwise, just winning immunities because he's that good, even though he doesn't look like he's going to be that good. Those are the ones that always surprise me, are the people who are actually very they're very athletic, or they know how to do these things, and you wouldn't expect them to. Those are the ones I like best. When you get these beefy guys in there, with all the testosterone, oozing out of them, sure, they're going to win. But when you get a guy that's kind of goofy, skinny looking guy, and he wins, it's kind of fun.
yeah.
British Bake Off, they had the finale this last week, and it
Yeah.
sucked.
I knew, okay, knew that person was going to win.
Well,
I
I
don't
did too
know why,
because
but
Wednesday when it played in England, it was all over Facebook.
oh, well, for me, it was just kind of like this deduction. I'm just like, it's going to be that one. But I mean, not that she was. Oh, well, I guess that gives away. No, yeah. Anyway, they were all fine, but she deserved it. I just, I was sad that your boy had such a rough time. It was like he got there and just choked on everything.
Yeah, I that's ugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did get a big new job.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's now a pastry chef for some major. I think it's like a Michelin star restaurant in London.
Oh, that's awesome.
So good for him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and still, it was just like I actually booed when they announced it, even though I knew who it won. Um,
Yeah.
let's see, holiday baking contest. I was halfway through the new episode. It's the Office Christmas party. Uh,
Yes.
so looking forward to finishing that. They had the first thing they had was they were doing Rolos. They had to
Yeah, that was cute.
yeah, interject Rolos in there. So it looked really cream. The caramel looked really gooey.
I know, and it- this has been. I mean, I'm always like, I'd like to try that, but this has been the first year that I'm watching them make desserts that I actually really would love to try. Not cooking, eating.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. As I mentioned, Lost. We're still halfway through the first season. It's weird when you these shows that actually have like lots of episodes.
Yeah.
It's so
Very
much.
different now.
Well, yeah, very different. Although Trackers and Matlock and Elspeth are going to have like 18 or 22 episodes, so
Oh.
which I'm happy about. Um, we're still working on Interior Chinatown over on Hulu. Fun show. It's really a genre, well, kind of a look back at the genre of the old. It almost sounds racial, because it's Chinatown and but
Mhm.
it's kung fu and the acting is oddly weird. Like if you've watched some of those old um you know Japanese and Chinese movies, they had like the acting is very stiff
Mm-hmm.
and they're playing off it nicely here. We finished Top Chef um Mexico, and now we're on Top
Oh.
Chef Brazil. And it's interesting, they actually have like a bullpen locker room where the waiting chefs to go against the Iron Chefs are.
Oh.
Instead of like that normally, oh, here's our contestant for this week, going and they've already picked the Iron Chefs for them, who they're going against. So
Nice.
a little different.
Yeah.
I find it interesting, the different kinds of the different kinds of sorry, I just got a thing. It was about South Korea. They're having some problems. Anyway, um,
Great.
yeah, but it's the ingredients, ingredients that we don't know sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
they've been trying to be, both Mexico and Brazil are trying to be very um, regionally oriented. So it's like they'll go, oh, everybody's favorite, and it's like, ooh, what is that? Okay. So moving on, we got Silos back on in Apple TV, which I really, really liked the first season. And so the second season, really good. I'm really happy with it. Um, let's see, went to the movies, saw Moana 2. Now, did you hear about this box office?
No.
Okay. It broke box office records for Thanksgiving,
Oh.
for both the 3 days of Thanksgiving, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
and the Wednesday through Sunday. It ended up making 240, no, 221 million.
Wow.
Now, when they were saying what they thought it was going to make before it
Mhm.
opened, they had it at 140 million. So it
Wow.
made 80 million more than they thought it would. And what else is interesting is that it was supposed to be direct to Disney Plus.
Oh, wow.
So one of those where they after they
Decided
finished
it
it,
was
they
decent.
showed it to test audiences
Mhm.
as they always do, and it tested really well. So they said, well, let's go ahead and bring it out. And they probably went, well, what do we have? Well, there's how about right before Thanksgiving? Are you kidding? Wicked is coming out the week
Right.
before that. So, well, what happened was when Moana came in, they moved Wicked out of a lot of the screenings, so because they always whatever's opening new gets more screens.
Yeah.
So I think that pushed a lot of people from seeing Wicked to seeing Moana, because that's what happened to us. We
Mm.
were we were going to go see Wicked, couldn't get in,
Right.
went into Moana. So that's kind of fun. But I went back and looked. It's no one's even close on opening Thanksgiving to
Huh.
what they did. It's really strange. Also, on the same thing, Abbott Elementary. Um,
Uh,
uh, there's no new episode, but they were talking about an episode that came out about a month and a half ago,
mm-hmm.
and they said when it came out, it was at when it was on ABC,
Mm-hmm.
2.1 million people watched it. The
Wow.
actual day. So that's
Mm.
which in the old days that would be you're getting canceled. These days that's not bad.
Right.
But after 35 days, its total now went from 2.1 million to 9 million people watching it, which shows you because there's only one place you can watch it after it plays on ABC, and
Yeah.
that's Hulu.
Right.
So that shows, hopefully will show the studios that they need to pay more attention to streaming,
Yes. Yeah.
um,
Especially since we're
because
paying so damn
I
much
still,
for it all.
right, you're paying for it, and the people who watch it on ABC are getting it for free. All they have to do is watch commercials.
Mm-hmm.
um, so so it just shows that you should be paying more attention to the people who are actually paying you to see the show,
Yep.
not who's paying to advertise during the show. Just
Yeah.
it's just okay. Anyway, watched Merry Gentlemen over on Netflix, which is
Mm.
you haven't watched it yet. It's
Mm-mm.
basically a Lifetime Christmas movie.
I'll get to it.
Okay, so this one,
Oh, I know which one.
yeah,
Okay.
this one is about a woman. She's she has been working. I think she's been working or trying to get in as basically the Rockettes, but they're calling them the Jingle Bells or something stupid. Um, and but she doesn't get the job, and she's leaves New York and comes back home to wherever home was. I don't remember. And her parents own a restaurant that's failing, so she goes, "Well, let's do a male strip show. That'll bring people in."
Yeah.
And so she tries to gather up the people with good bodies and has them do strip shows. It is so terrible. And well, first of all, the stripping's so terrible. I mean, the general show of what it is, the genre that it is, it's very typical, bad
Mm.
acting, bad scripts, silly premise, sweet, I've learned my lesson, blah. Okay, but the thing is is the stripping could have been better. First of all, the music's not loud enough while they're stripping
Uh,
because they're doing dialogue, and so because of that it makes the dancing, which is look like you and I choreographed it, um is just very basic,
hmm.
for strippers, and because the music's not loud enough, it just it and the girls aren't screaming enough, because that noise can cover up for some bad
Oh
choreography,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I know when you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, as far as these, this Hallmark genre Christmas movie, it's perfectly fine, but
Mm.
it's also number one on, or at least last week it was number one on, I
Netflix.
think on streaming.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm
Well,
surprised to because it looks cheesy. And but who's the big actor that
Chad Michael Murphy, I think is his name.
okay. I forget. I just know that it
You're
was like
talking,
somebody that was big that is known for his body and now he's back in this and he's like 60 or something.
oh, you're talking about,
Maybe I'm talking about
you're
different
talking
movie.
about, what's his name? Matthew Caulfield.
Yes.
Matthew Caulfield.
Yes. Yeah. We all had
Now
crushes
you
on him
do,
in the 80s.
no, he didn't.
Well,
But did you know who his wife is?
no.
Juliet Mills, who played Nanny and Nanny the Professor,
Oh, right. Okay. That's
and she's
cool.
she's 20 years older than 19 years older than him. Because I remember they got married in the 80s, so he was like in his 20s and she was in her 40s. Sounds
Right.
familiar.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they're still together, and actually his birthday was just last week, and because I kept going, why are we seeing the two of them all of a sudden? And then I
Yeah.
found out it was his birthday, and then I was watching Merry Gentlemen. I'm going, oh, that's him. Okay,
Yeah.
now I now I'm seeing it, but
Nice.
I think you'll still like it. Yes, it's cheesy, but what of those aren't? All
Right.
of them are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally are. Yep.
Let's see. Watched Home for the Holidays, which it was available is available on Paramount Plus. Um, Paramount Plus gets a lot of streams too.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I think it's because they have all the ABC stuff. I mean CBS stuff,
Mm.
but yeah, I was looking at the streams for the week, and like that Tulsa show with Stallone is
Oh,
like
yeah.
is in the top 10.
Mm.
Top 10. My
I'm
God.
surprised, but
Yeah.
hey.
Let's see, Muppet Christmas Carol. Watch that this week.
Yay.
And it's weird because the version that I had on digital, at one point, she sang that song out in the
So,
field, and
yeah.
then, but it's not there anymore. So comes and
Okay.
goes, comes and goes. Watching a well, I just already finished a new series on Netflix called the Man on the Inside with Ted Danson. Really good, good. It's kind of Brian described it as like um, only murders in our building. But what happens is he's a retired college professor. His wife recently died. He's looking for something to do, and he sees this ad or for someone to work undercover, and so he thinks that, oh, that might be good. So he works undercover for a detective who in a nursing home.
Huh.
Actually, it's more of a assisted living for rich people.
Okay.
And what happened is one of the people has had their some jewelry stolen, so he's going to go undercover, and it's a comedy.
Okay.
But the nice thing is it's got Sally Struthers in it. It's got
Oh.
Veronica Cartwright's in it, and all these actresses who have you know haven't been around for a while, and
Yeah.
this gives them kind of a nice juicy role, and so it's fun. It kind of it's a much slicker version of the Vicki Lawrence one.
Oh, the cool kids.
Cool Kids, yeah. So,
Yeah. I love that. I Ted Danson I would avoid, but the rest of the cast, now I want to see it.
well, he's really good. I don't know why you.
I don't know. There's just something about him that annoys me.
Oh, and it was kind of fun. I was on YouTube, kind of looking around, and there's they call them slime tutorial, and that's where somebody has gone in and filmed a play or a musical.
Oh, okay.
So, I one night I sat and watched The Outsiders again.
Yay.
And the what was cool about it was because I've seen it live
Uh-huh.
on when it was hard to tell what was going on because probably they were worried somebody saw the camera.
Right.
um that I'm looking at somebody's the back of somebody's head, but I knew what was going on. It was really kind of cool to um, well, I still think that Broadway, especially theater in New York, is missing out on because they never do particularly well because the rental of the theaters are so expensive, and then they got to pay the actors and all
Yeah.
the technicians. So like a show like The Outsiders costs about $1 million a week to run,
Jeez.
and they're only making, I mean, they're making like 1.5 million, but um
Huh.
but you got a show like Water for Elephants that's costs about the same thing to run, and they're making 500,000 and $600,000, so they're in the hole every fucking week.
Right.
So I just think that what they need to do is they need to first of all, like a show like Oh Mary,
Huh?
that's it's not going to tour.
No.
So offer, film it and offer it up for people to pay for it, you know
Right. Yeah. No, totally.
yeah.
Somebody asked me recently if I had seen, well, actually I had about three people, I think, ask me if I'd seen Wicked, because I love the movie so much. And I was like, well, I'd seen it twice on bootleg that somebody stuck out there. And I'm glad. And I would have paid for it. I would have totally paid to see, you know,
To
a
see a good
filmed
copy of
version
it,
of
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So that, and also uh just, I mean, yeah, especially with the plays, because the plays, they don't go anywhere.
Right.
They finish and they're done. The roommate, right, that was playing with Mia Farrow and Patty LuPone, would love to
Hmm.
have seen that, but if you're not
Yeah.
in New York for that particular 4 month period, you're never going to see that show.
Right.
And so, yeah, just things like that. So we already talked about our mutual shows. What did you do this week?
Well, what did I do? I don't know. I started holiday decorating a little bit here and there, getting ready. Um, and yeah, I don't know about anything in real life that was that exciting, but um,
But you did watch Happy's Place.
I did, and it is getting better. The thing is that they are actually doing the script's getting better. The main characters are gelling finally. It's actually becoming a really enjoyable show, except there are still two supporting cast that are just chewing the fucking scenery every time they get on there. And it's not the dialogue, it's not the story, it is them. It is so hard to watch scenes that they are in. But the rest of the show is really great. And so I'm looking forward to, I don't, it has been picked up for more episodes, and hopefully it'll just keep going and getting better. Um, and then I also have been watching Doom Prophecy. Have you been watching this one?
No.
No. So this is basically 10,000 years before Shai-Hulud, the current incarnation with the movies, and this is basically the founding of the sisterhood and the everything that they want to do. And it also stars Holly Hunter. So that's really cool seeing her in this role. But episode one was interesting. Episode two was kind of like, whatever. Episode three was one of those where it's always almost always episode three where they jump back in time and they show you how the main character got to where they are so that you can understand kind of their backstory. And again, it's one of those shows that don't actually tell you what they're doing. So you kind of have to follow this new storyline until you figure out that they're the characters in the future. However, regardless of how irritating that was, the episode was really good. And I'm like, okay, now you have me interested. I want more. Give me more and make it good. Don't be. putzing around like some of these shows do. Um, I also binge watched a show on Hulu slash Disney called Doctor Odyssey. So this is basically a super hot older doctor comes on a cruise ship because he went through hell during COVID and almost died. And so he is back and he wants an easier life. So he goes on board this cruise ship where he finds a very hot, not Brazilian, Argentinian, uh,
South American.
yeah, we'll go with that. Super hot male nurse, and then a nurse practitioner, who both of them end up having, this interest in. Of course, you know how that goes. But the show is a Ryan Murphy show, so it cannot make up its mind whether it is a super heavy drama or a total comedy or a sex romp or what it is. But I don't care because it's fun. It's fun. It's got really cool celebrities. It's got Don Johnson as the ship's captain. And it brings on John Stamos with his two gay lovers, one of which is Cheyenne Jackson. Um, just it's a fun show. However,
So,
there
so
are
is it
parts
is
of
it a
it.
great gay cruise ship?
No, but there is an episode. They do themes, and there is an episode where it is a gay theme week, and the next week is facelift week or plastic surgery recovery week, or and then like singles cruise week, and they have it's basically, I don't know, like the whole show is like a warning against STDs. So if you don't want to get STDs, watch the show. It'll turn you off on everything. But it's fun, and yet it's also kind of gross, and it's a little over the top, and it's a little bit of everything. It's very Ryan Murphy. And there was a twist at the end which was good, but I didn't see coming. So anyway,
So
I totally recommend it. I totally recommend it. I think you would like it too.
are all episodes available?
Yeah, there's 8 episodes and they're all out. I
Okay.
believe it's only 8. So yeah, they're all there. Um, so yeah, it's fun. It's just one of those, just put it on and watch with no expectations. I started watching the Gingerbread Baking Championship last night, because I was done with all the current episodes of the holiday baking. So, and of course, this has Jesse in it, so I had to watch. Um, I don't know. They basically, so they take, have you seen this yet?
I'm not watching it.
Okay, that's okay. Except for Jesse, you're not missing anything else.
Well, I didn't like the past season, so
Okay. I have never seen it before. So, basically it's three contestants, three helpers who are also bakers, and they build gingerbread, but they are given the theme before they even show up. So they're able to build and bake a bunch of their gingerbread components and then ship them to the thing. And of course, at least one contestant every episode is having all of their shipping stuff get there and all the cookie just broken. So, and then they're having to, redo everything and things are falling apart. Again, Jesse's the best thing about, and actually there's two judges that I really like too, but um, it's fun in a brainless sort of way. Okay, so over to Netflix, I watched Our Little Secret, which is the new Lindsay Lohan holiday film. This is kind of the thing that she's kind of doing now. Every year she's popping out, every year or two, she's popping out a new Hallmark-ish Christmas movie, and I'm there for it. She did a great job in this. This was a very fun Our Little Secret. Basically, two people who grew up together, um, were in a relationship, broke up. It was a horrible breakup. They haven't seen each other in over a decade, and suddenly they're thrust back together because they're both dating a brother and sister who were uh, end up being from the same family, and neither of them know it. So they hide the fact that they knew each other, and hilarity ensues. Um, but it was a very fun show. I actually laughed through parts of it. It's got Kristen Chenoweth in there as the mother, who is impossible to please. It's fun. If you like your little shows, go watch it. I rewatched Polar Express. I don't know why I torture myself
Boo.
with this thing. However, I guess expect every year it's going to be better. There are parts of it that I actually like, and then there is a lot of it that I don't. So, but it was something to put on during Christmas or holiday cards. So. Then I went back to watching one that I have not watched in years and years, and it's While You Were Sleeping, and I would watch this every season. Sandra Bullock, of course, and Bill Pullman, and oh gosh, I forgot which one he is. Anyway, it's such a good movie. I mean, I was totally into it, and I love Sandra Bullock. It was very fun. I'm glad I went back and watched it. I totally recommend doing it if you haven't seen it in a while too, because it's a smarter movie than you might remember it being.
Well, I didn't like it when I first saw it. I've only seen it once.
Wow.
I
Well,
I know. I know. And it's like it's the only Sandra Bullock movie I haven't liked except for, well, there's a Constellation one, but that's a whole different thing. So
oh well, yeah. But it's one of those that like you just it's the dumbest fucking plot, but at the same time, she makes it work. And of course Bill, and he's great, but just she can pull off anything, and she just has such a natural style that you're just like I'm in. Let's go. Let's do this. Anyway, I also watched, God knows why, rewatched I Married a Witch from 1942. I watched it a couple years ago during a Halloween thing. It was on, it was free. I watched it, and when it was done, I was like, and that's probably the last time I'm going to watch that because that was horrible. Um, oh God, just don't. Anyway, um, I started to watch Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I didn't get to finish it because it was kind of late. But I was actually really enjoying it again, which I guess now I have to call that my guilty pleasure because there connections that I really hate about it, but it's still I still enjoy watching the movies. Okay. And that was pretty much that. Okay. Moving on. It's time to get into Am I in the Wrong? Well, I'm a retired woman living with my adult son. My neighbor, also retired, keeps bringing me food despite repeatedly telling her we're on special diets, don't eat pork, and have no room in the fridge or freezer. I did say I'd take the occasional surplus avocado, which seems to have been a mistake. I used to feel obligated to return food by giving her back her containers, when giving her back her containers, but I stopped. We're neighborly, but not close, and this has gone on for 2 to 3 years. Though she likely means well, I've asked her diplomatically to stop, even explaining the food often goes uneaten due to our diets. Lately, she's been leaving food, magazines, and knickknacks outside my window, especially since I put up a nap time do not disturb sign. Sometimes she even peeks in the window. I'm starting to resent these gifts, but it makes me feel ungrateful. Excuse me. My son says to just toss them without saying anything. Yesterday, I returned a warm package with a note saying no thank you and left it on her stoop with empty containers. She's not lonely. She has a husband, roommates, pets, and family nearby. Am I in the wrong, and will this ever stop?
This is your neighbor, isn't it?
No, if it were my neighbor, I'd be like, sure, whatever. Except one time we have a great neighbor who was offering us some soup, and I said thank you, but no, through text, because I just knew that it would not get eaten. So, but other than that, no. If our neighbors want to bring us food, all right, whatever. I'll
Okay.
just take it, and if I don't eat it, I'll just toss it. But
And that's what I'd say I'd do with this one.
yeah,
You know,
toss it out and stop returning the containers.
well, yeah, I mean, or don't return them quickly
Yeah. Or just don't return them. Just add them to your thing, and
because I know next week it's going to be. I live next door to a retired woman and her adult son, and I take over, food because I know that she's older and well, so I'm trying to
yeah.
be nice and I'm feeling like I'm not being appreciated. Am I in the wrong?
And we'll be like, no, you're not wrong. You're very sweet. You should stop doing it though, because she doesn't appreciate you.
Well, I honestly, that's what I probably would do is I'd probably go over to the woman and go, you know what? They don't appreciate you. Stop giving them stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially now as magazines and knickknacks and other stuff. There's something else going on there. I don't know. Maybe she's got some
Well, she says
disorder.
she's not lonely, and
Yeah. So
I
there's got to be something else.
she's probably religious, and she feels that she's doing this for God.
Yeah. Even God said, dude, leave them alone. They never understood that, but yeah. Okay, moving on. Yeah. Hey, Chubs, Timothy wants to know what do you think about the term act of God being used in insurance claims?
Well, just in general, you know, I wouldn't use that term just simply because it's ridiculous. But other people would go, no, no, the hurricane was an act of God. Well, yeah, and some just it happens. And
Yeah.
and of course we're encouraging it more to happen more often because of the way we live. But
Yeah.
yeah, the act of God, I think, is just it's we're not supposed to use God in anything political. It's supposed to be separation between church and state. So you think church and insurance company might be a separation as well. I just think
Yeah.
it's dumb.
Yeah, I do too. Just the terminology. I
Right.
mean, why not unforeseeable act of nature?
Right,
Which would make
exactly.
more sense because it is for like hurricanes and floods and stuff like that. It's something that that you can't plan for or know is going to happen or take reasonable precautions for. So anyway, so yeah, there's that. Hey Chubbs, Timothy wants to know if you went back to college today, what would you major in?
God, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was, yeah. I mean, you always wanted to major in something you thought you were going to do as a profession,
Mhm.
but I'm kind of professionless now.
Yeah.
So, um, what would be fun? I guess I'd want to do something that I would enjoy learning about. Maybe taking some, culinary courses.
Oh, that
Something
sounds
like that might
good.
be good because it's something
Yeah.
I could use on a regular basis.
Yeah. And you're good at it to begin with. So, yeah. So for me, I would probably major in psychology. That's always been something that I thought would have been a good calling for me. Uh,
I have my AA in it.
yeah, really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, but it's just I was a double major, in college, so it was drama and psychology. And so successful in both. Um,
Well, that's funny because our another friend of mine, Heather, she majored in psychology, so it's something out there. But yeah, I think I would be interested in that.
Well, I think psychology was kind of like the liberal arts of our time.
Like communication.
Yes, yes, yeah.
It's like, oh, I graduated in communications. Great. You paid a lot of money to do nothing. Hmm. Yeah,
Although you can get a better job with the state if you have a communications degree, if you'd had nothing.
true.
And but you were completely experienced in the job that you were applying for.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. It just drove me crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey Chubs, Timothy wants to know what would you allow smoking in movie theaters if it meant cell phones would be banned?
No.
No. I mean, yeah, cell phones can be irritating, but at the same time, I'm not gonna cough through a whole fucking movie.
Yeah, well, it's I just remember as a kid, there was a theater. It was Cinema 150 over in near my house in Fair Oaks, Carmichael area, and it was this big old beautiful house with a curved screen. It was gorgeous, but there was the smoking section, and the smoking section was in the loge area, which was the center back area. So
Hmm.
when you walked in, you could actually see the smoke line of where it kind of rested. So if you went down underneath the smoke line, you still had to pass through it, but you didn't have to smell it the whole time.
Uh,
But yeah, it was they. I mean, they were never able to filter out the smoke, and people, come on, if you can't go, 2 hours without a cigarette.
right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Timothy, for those questions. Those were really good ones. All right. Now it's time for I Remember. And I remember my first bike.
What was it?
So I had a blue, I just remember it was blue. I don't know if it had a special brand or whatever, but I got it for my eighth birthday, I think. And I didn't have anyone around, of course, who would, work with me to teach me to ride it or anything like that. So all those memories of like, oh, my first bike and my father holding the wheels, and nope. It was basically in my family too. You went out there and you got on the bike and you just tried it until you finally got it. And it took me a few days, but I was able to do it. And then, of course, off and running. And then 2 years later, I got my first 10 speed. It was a Christmas gift. So, how about you?
I know it wasn't. I don't think it was my first bike, but I probably had hand-me-downs before that. But I remember my favorite bike was, um, I think it was a Schwinn, um, and it had a banana seat. It was
Mm.
purple, and it had the big, the big handlebars that were up,
Hmm.
not the curved ones that you got with the 10 speeds.
Yeah.
I hated the 10 speed bike. And mostly because I've got very short legs.
Okay.
And so I couldn't stand, when you stop on a 10 speed, I had to actually get off the bike to stop because
Oh, wow.
I couldn't touch the ground on one side.
Oh.
Um, and my balls suffered for it. Um, but yeah, but the other bike was more of a like a girl's bike, which it didn't have the big bar right there
Oh,
across.
yeah.
And it was mostly because I had banana seat. The banana
Mm.
seat was more like some of those motorcycles, the ones like I said with the big. I loved it. It was my favorite, and I think I even had purple and silver because I think it was silver, and the seat was woven um, somewhat. So purple and silver. The little tails that came out of the
yeah.
handlebars.
Yeah.
So, and that was probably around, I think it was probably around 9, I think, because I didn't have a bike at Tahoe. But we moved down to Carmichael, and that's where we got the bike. I'm sure that's what it was. But yeah, I really liked that bike a lot. And and of course, everyone had, the 10 speeds after that. So then I had to have a 10 speed that I didn't like. So it was like, enjoy what you have, and that thing.
Definitely. Yeah. I liked my smaller bike, but I do remember the first 10 speed, it was a learning curve, and I didn't like that whole leaning forward thing on it either. So, okay. Well, what's in our lunchbox? Well, apparently nobody's been eating anything.
Okay, with Thanksgiving has just passed us by, and
Uh-huh.
we requested Thanksgiving pictures,
Uh-huh.
even if it was just one thing that you liked that you had. It didn't have to be the whole dinner. We get nothing.
Nope.
Come on, kids. Kids, what's going on?
I don't know, but it made me worried about Mr. Moose. Because, he usually at least sends in a little something. So I was like, are you okay? You okay?
Well, he's been dealing with
Oh my gosh.
wood rot, and
Yeah.
and I can't believe he got that. He got the Halloween down and the Christmas up so quickly.
I know. I mean, I've got a table out here just filled with stuff and took 2 days off. And yet he's just like every day climbing up, hauling 6-foot nutcrackers up to the ceiling, setting up all their front lines,
and working out.
Yeah. Yeah, don't stop doing that.
Yeah, he's just a busy boy.
Yep.
So I can see that he might not have been able to get us. And watch, you'll have a shitload from him, and like as soon as he listens to this, oh damn it.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody. If you want to send us what's in your lunchbox, if you want to send us anything,
Questions
on anything,
yeah.
just send it to chubsgonewild@gmail.com. And don't forget, you can find Tom's other podcast at swannerandjudd.com. You can find out my other projects at justkisstheguy.com. And yes, I am aware that some of the browsers are acting up on my site because they want me to spend over $100 on an SSL certificate. So we'll get there. Anyway, in the meantime, find all my links at allmylinks.com/chubsgonewild. And you can always give us an email at
ChubsGoneWild@gmail.com.
Yeah, we'll have to look into getting a new number so Tom can learn it and be excited again.
Well, it was just that it just happened to be 69 in there, and Chubs, and just kind of worked. But
they took it away from us, and I tried to keep it. I tried, but yeah. All right. Well, we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
A network of inclusion.
UnivazPods.net.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network.
This has been a For Fuck's Sake production.